CEO, who was passed away yesterday unexpectedly. Wonderful man, someone who made a huge impact here in the Bay Area community and with our team, with the Warriors. And a lot of us knew him, sat next to him at various events, got to know him over the years, and so the news yesterday was really, really shocking. And we just I want to say on behalf of the organization how sorry we are and how much we're thinking about him today. And I'd also like to, on Hoops for Troops night and Veterans Day, just thank everybody out there who's listening, who's representing our country, serving our country, men and women around the world who are protecting us. Thank you for all that you do, and we're gonna do our best to honor your service tonight. So, with that, I will take some questions.
I'll segue to basketball, I guess.
Yeah.
Just from your time in China, two questions. One, just what you learned and kind of thought of Donovan. And then I think you had Australia as the scout, so what you picked up on Joe in that time period.
Did your homework.
But predominantly Donovan.
Yeah. Donovan is he's a star in the making on the court. He's already a star off the court. I mean, that was my impression, was just what an incredible human being he is, a leader, just the character, the everything about him jumped off the page. Just what a special person he is. He's coachable to the nth degree. You can say anything to him, talk to him about anything, and he soaks it up and wants to hear more. But the way his teammates revered him, the way his coaches felt about him, he's a special player, special person. As a player, he's really good getting to the basket, athletic, strong, confident, and getting better as he gets older and learns how to refine all that talent. And really enjoyed being around him this summer, and not looking forward to playing against him tonight. Joe and the Australian team, we played them twice, split 2 games, and we've known Joe for a while now, just because of his abilities and his contributions to the Jazz over the years, and just a really, really smart basketball player, wonderful passer, playmaker, shot maker, and he has always caused us a lot of problems, and that was with veteran teams. So I'm intrigued to see how our young players respond to him, because he's got a lot of game, a lot of tricks up his sleeve. So it'll be a learning experience for our young guys.
We're talking to Steph a little later today, but just kind of from your perspective, how has he absorbed all this? It was end of the season. He's figuring P candidate kind of lead the team without Klay, to the sudden breaking of the hand in this season.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, to be honest, we haven't spoken much because he wasn't on the road trip, and we texted a little bit, and it's been more just sort of, what the hell's going on? How did this happen? Than anything else. But we will have more of a chance in the coming weeks, now that he's gonna be around more, to kind of discuss the direction of our team and our season. And but Steph, he's very practical. He doesn't get too high or too low. More than anything, I know he's bored. I know he wants to be part of things, and he wants to be out on the court, but he's just got to be patient and get healthy. And once he's healthy and ready to roll, he'll be back out there.
Coach, following up on that, I know that with that extended time, you talk about him being bored. Would you have him travel just to be around as he recovers?
Only if it makes sense. That'll be up to the training staff. So we'll see how that plays out.
Anything else?
Just to hear it in your own words, what's the impact of having Draymond back?
We already felt it this morning with shoot around, just his voice. That was the biggest thing on the road trip, was just not not having Draymond there, not having Steph, Klay, it was just strange. Just looking out at the guys, I kept saying, "Where is everybody?" Meaning, I thought we were waiting on 2 or 3 guys to start every meeting on the road trip. I said, "Where is everybody?" And I was saying it unironically. I was being dead serious. Like, oh yeah, we only have 9 guys, and but it was just quiet. It was very quiet without Draymond, as you could imagine. But our team, our young guys need his voice, and they need the advice that he can offer. So at shoot around this morning, we're walking through a few things defensively. He's there to provide the advice that the young guys need, and it's very reassuring as a coach. He's basically a coach on the floor, and we missed him while he was out.
Steve, following up on that, you've talked so much about the opportunity that these young guys have now that they probably wouldn't have had otherwise. Specific to guys like Kai and Omari and Jordan, the really younger guys, how do you think they've handled the opportunity they've had the last few weeks now?
I think they've been great. They're playing so hard. They're learning. They're making mistakes, which I'm encouraging them to do. It's the only way you can learn. And then we watch the tape and we say, hey, think about this or think about that, and then we get to the next game. I thought Jordan Bell was really good in Oklahoma City. And, I'm sure if you didn't watch the game, you just look at the box score and, well, he had 6 points. He didn't do much, but he had 6 assists. He moved the ball better than he has all season. His defense was much better. So all these little details that we're pointing out to the young guys, they have to seize those and get better with those. Because if they get better, at the details, then big picture-wise, they're going to be in much better shape. So Jordan's just an example I use. I thought he was really good the other day, and the same goes for Marquise and Omari, Eric, Kai. They're all just learning something new every day. But they're going to continue to make mistakes, and they're just going to keep learning from them.
So you haven't really jumped on the team for turnovers like you did in past years, but what's your impression of your team's rebounding and what needs to be done in that area?
We need to be better. The pattern for us on this road trip was we get to the first part of your question. The turnovers were really good in the first half, and then they got worse in the second half as the pressure ratcheted up, and we didn't execute with the pressure. And the rebounding, when you get out of position defensively, then you lose rebounding position. And we played some big teams. Steven Adams is a handful in there, and Houston with Capella down there, they spread you out with 3-point shooters, and there's a lot of long rebounds. So we didn't do a good job there either. So there's a lot to work on for sure, and our team will continue to work at it and get better, and I'm confident that the young guys they're seeing it. They're seeing it on film, both as a group and individually with coaches. We're doing a lot of work with them, and they're listening and they're working at it. So they're going to get better.
Steve, the Jazz, like your team, are integrating a whole lot of new players this year. They remain among the top of the league in defense. They're struggling on the other end of the side, on the other end of the ball. Is it, in your experience, kind of more difficult to integrate certain parts of the scheme on one side versus the other with that many new guys?
I think it all depends on your personnel. I would think for Utah, if you've got Rudy Gobert, your defense is probably going to be easier to adapt to, just because he's such a dynamic rim protector, and you can get your point across pretty quickly in terms of funneling the ball to him. And they've had a really good defensive team for years, so that generally holds true even with some turnover, as long as you've got your main guys back, which they do. Offensively, we're undergoing some similar changes with so many new players, and so the early part of the season is always a time for experimental changes and figuring out what works in terms of your schemes, your lineups. So I'm sure Quinn is going through similar stuff that we are too.
Hi, Steve. Can you talk about the importance of Veterans Day and what it means to you?
I was just talking with Raymond. We've got 4 or 5 players who have family members who have been or are either in the military or have been. So our team has a very strong connection individually and collectively with the military. And then I think just for me, I was very fortunate to live overseas quite a bit growing up, and so one of my memories is living in Egypt for about 3 years and seeing the Marines, United States Marine Corps in Cairo, protecting the embassy, and I'd see them around town, and they became part of the community. They had their own softball team that was in the softball league, and so some of my best friends' parents were military people. You had all kinds of different people in that situation, education and oil, diplomatic work. So for me, that's the time where I really felt it, where it's like, hey, these people are halfway across the world and they're helping protect us in this little town outside of Cairo. It's pretty cool. And we got to know them well. And so I think of it in those terms on a grand scale, and think about how many people are doing that job all over the world, all over this country and all over the world. And it just makes me proud and thankful at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Locker room will be open shortly.